And before beginning, I would love to hear from you if you are seeking financial advice or have questions. I've put together a very short Google Form survey, the link is in the description, and I'm really interested to hear what your single most important financial advice question is. I have a few excellent quotes from hedge fund manager John Paulson. Paulson was made famous for absolutely ridiculous returns in 2007, reported returning 9 times the initial investment, or over 800% in that 1 year, netting his fund $15 billion. Most of the money came from concentrated bets against the housing market and subprime lending. Paulson's fund deals in risk arbitrage and bankruptcy reorganization strategies with a specialty in finding short credit opportunities. Paulson's short credit niche is exactly what helped him target the problems with mortgage bonds in the first place. In my first quote, Paulson describes a bit more in detail the trade he had on. It was a very, very skewed trade where you lost a small amount of money if it didn't work, but you made a fortune if it worked. That's why it's called the greatest trade ever. We got both the security and the timing right, and we're able to make that 100-to-1 return. Paulson goes deeper on what institutions he was targeting with this portfolio. We focus on the institutions that had large quantities of subprime or poorly performing mortgages. We shorted New Century, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Citibank, Washington Mutual, IndyMac, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, and we were 100% right. And there is an extremely funny story from that year of a wary investor that year calling up and receiving some golden confirmation. One of our investors called me and he said, "John, I think there's been a mistake. Your monthly returns say you earn 66% for the month. I'm sure you meant 6.6%. And I told him, no, it was 66%. And why was it that Paulson was able to take such a concentrated position against the subprime dealers? He explains it was all about that risk-to-reward ratio of the trades he was putting on. The reason why we shorted the subprimes in size was because it was asymmetrical. You were shorting the mortgage bonds at par, which had a limited duration with a 1% spread to treasuries. So you can't lose more than that spread over the duration. But if it defaults, you can make the bond's entire par amount. Paulson compared the short opportunity he saw in the housing market to the short opportunity he saw during the 2021 cryptocurrency rally. Shorting crypto has an unlimited downside. Crypto went from 5,000 to 45,000. A short would be wiped out. It's just too volatile to short. And what does Paulson think it takes to be a good investor? Rather than citing innate abilities, he highlights training and experience. To be a good investor, you need a lot of training. There are a lot of legal issues to understand. You need a lot of experience before you start, especially in the type of investing you're going to be undertaking. And the average investor, Paulson sees them as too often chasing foolish opportunities that end in tears. I think one of the biggest mistakes common investors make is looking for get-rich-quick schemes and buying based on stories. They end up chasing investments on the way up. Those investments deflate, and the investors end up losing money. So what does Paulson think the average person should do? His answer is really ironic given the way he made most of his money. I think the best investment for an average individual is to buy their own home. And what about Paulson's personal views? His choice of private life is much like the other hedge fund managers and successful traders. I avoid the media. I'm not sure that actually helps me. Not participating might make the media more interested. And government, I love the simplicity of this statement. An administration that supports growth supports everyone. And I'll leave you with a really nice anecdote about America's need to remain both kind and charitable. Americans are a philanthropic people and we care about the well-being of other citizens. I grew up in a family where we weren't wealthy, but we always contributed to causes. As a child on Halloween, I used to trick or treat for UNICEF rather than for candy. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to fill out the survey in the description if you are after financial advice.